Welcome. Today we're going to do a chair yoga class focused on balance. So we'll stay seated, and I know that sounds a little odd, but we can work the principles of balance from a chair. And we're a seated culture, so the better we learn to sit efficiently and understand the mechanics of balance, the more we can bring this into our daily lives. So we'll start with a little foot roll. I have a therapy ball here. I'm going to roll out 1 foot at a time. So there's no real right or wrong way to do this. Just take that ball and bring it around the surface of the arches of your feet. If you find there's a little place that's tender or you feel a little knot there, you're welcome to stay there and put a little pressure in that place. Yeah, and take as much time as you need on each foot. So if you need to pause this video and take a little more time than I'm taking, you're welcome to. But for brevity, I'm going to move over to the second foot. You may also notice that I have a blanket underneath my feet, and that again is to give my feet a little more feedback. It's kind of like walking through the sand at the beach, if you've had that experience. And so if you find that's a little too much or just not for you, you can skip that piece. All right, so our balance on a structural level starts at the feet and ankles. So where we're going to start today is doing a little bit of strengthening for our feet and ankles. I have a therapy band here. I'm going to take that therapy band around the ball of my foot, extend my leg, and like we're pressing the gas pedal down, we're just going to press and then release. You can take your heel and lift it. You can keep your heel down, whatever feels best. A little bit of strength for your ankles. Then you can take that second foot into the strap and do the same thing. So decide if you want that heel down or up. And a little bit of movement forward and back with the foot. So strengthening your ankle, your calf, your shin muscles. Release that strap, put it off to the side, and same kind of movement, lift and lower heels and toes. And maybe we walk the feet out a bit if you have that space and that range of motion in your body, and bring the feet in. And we'll do that a few times. So just doing a little movement in our body, and then we'll center with our breath and start practice. So lift and lower your feet and allow your feet to find the space that they need for structure. I like to think that my knees are over my heels and my legs are about as wide as my hips or shoulders, but you may find that you need another position. Press down through your feet. Use the strength of your legs to help you sit up tall, but don't work those thighs so much that they're going to start shaking here in a few minutes. We'll be in this posture for a while, so I want you to keep your legs, your feet grounded, your legs in the shape, and your spine supported through the structure of your body. Take a breath in and a breath out. You can breathe through the nose or the mouth, whatever's more comfortable, a couple more like that. And we'll start with a rhythmic exercise. So breathe naturally and sway side to side. So I know some of us are prone to dizziness, and if that is your experience, notice if one of these movements specifically causes you to be dizzy, and you can sit that one out altogether. Or notice if you focus your eyes and move your body with your eyes focused, if that helps you maintain your equilibrium. So those are a couple of strategies just to get curious about when those things play. So we're working our balance, and one of the components to our balance is our vestibular system, so this practice will challenge that a bit. All right. So let's see what changes if we rock forward and back. Find the top of your legs right where your hips, your torso, and your legs come together, and let's rock forward and back, keeping that neutral spine that we just explored in our seat. Again, it's nice to focus your eyes if you need to. And then we'll connect those two movements, a circle. Again, creating a focal point for your eyes if that helps with dizziness or if it just helps with your experience in this movement. Moving from the top of the legs, the hips. Switch direction if you like. And breathe normally. So I'll cue the breath at times, but not always. So remember to breathe and let your breath naturally occur through movement. So shape change creates breath, and then breath movement affects our spine. So we'll do a little bit of breath-centered stuff and some things that are not. The first thing we will do is take your arms by your sides, let them swing. Reconnect through the feet, support the spine. Take one of your arms up toward the ceiling, the other down toward the floor. Notice with this lifted arm, did you bring the shoulder up by the ear? Let that shoulder settle. You can take this lowered hand to the seat of your chair or let it hang free, whatever's best for you. We'll take a breath in here. As we breathe out, we'll lean toward our lowered arm. You can look down at the floor and notice if you can keep your bottom, both of your sits bones or your buttocks in your chair. Relax the skin on the palms, the wrists, the elbows, and breathe in a few rounds of breath here. With your next inhale, bring both arms up. We'll lower that arm that has been lifted. Again, check in with the shoulder here. Get the legs and the spine back in the shape. And then as we breathe out, we'll lean to the second side. Both buttocks in your chair, both feet grounded. And we'll soften the palm, the wrist, the elbow. No need to overwork that arm. Take a few breaths in and out here. One more breath in brings your arms up. And a breath out slowly lowers your arms down. We'll swing those arms up, about halfway up. Give yourself a hug. You can walk your fingers back and tighten that hug if you like. Draw your chin back and let it lower towards your chest. 3 breaths in and out here. All right, lift your chin. Let your arms go back. Maybe broaden your chest. You can arch your spine a little bit if you like. So a little arch in your mid-back. As long as that feels good, keep your legs in the shape. And if you feel like you're cranking your neck back to make the posture bigger, we can look straight ahead. And that's also good if you have any sort of neck injury. Take a breath in and breath out. Let your arms swing by your sides. All right, last movement we'll do for our spine. We'll incorporate a little head movement. And so you can always skip that if that is causing dizziness. But we'll sit up nice and tall, a little bit of engagement in the legs. And let's make our twist happen slightly above our navel. And think about your heart and your shoulders leading this movement. So we'll turn our shoulder girdle and our heart toward one side. Once you can go no further, let your hands rest somewhere on that side, maybe the leg and the chair. Take a breath in here. Breathe out. I want you to slowly look over your opposite shoulder. Now remember, you can keep your eyes focused somewhere that's not moving if you need, or you can sit this movement out altogether. And then we'll turn back toward that first shoulder, so turning the head again. And then keep that head and neck movement happening. Nice, slow and steady movement is good. And I'm not cueing the breath here, but you might find it happens naturally as you move. You're welcome to accentuate that connection to the breath if you like. All right, look straight ahead. Take a breath in here. Breathe out, slowly return. Nice. Reconnect to that little bit of lift, that support through your legs. And from the heart to the shoulders, we turn to the second side. Let your hands rest. Breathe in here and breathe breathe out. And slowly look over your opposite shoulder, turning that head and neck only. And as fast as you need to move, maybe a better way of saying that, as slow as you can move, let's take the head and turn it a few times over each shoulder. Linking that breath with movement if it feels right to you. Straight ahead. Let the spine return to neutral. Rock forward and back if that feels good, or if stillness would be better for you, sit still. All right. Let's take a breath in here and a breath out. So we'll do two movements that will challenge our vision and challenge our proprioception. So that's the skill that lets you know sort of where your body is in space. One way to confirm where our body is in space is to see something move or to get a visual representation like in a mirror. Another way is to sense that. And so our bodies have receptors in our muscles, our tendons, our joints that let us know where we are in space. And so let's let our arms go by our sides. Again, bring the legs back in the posture, connect through the spine. And I want your hands out as wide as they need to be so that you can see your hands through the peripheral vision or through the side of your corner of your eye, as my grandma might say. So we'll take those arms up. You know that your hands are moving because you can see them, but you might lose track of them as they go a little bit out of your sight line at the bottom and a little bit out of your sight line at the top. Again, I'm not cueing breath, but if you want to breathe as you lift the arms and breathe as you lower, you're welcome. That can be an inhale or an exhale, whatever is natural to you. All right, let your arms rest by your sides. Close your eyes, shake out your hands, wiggle your fingers. We'll do that same movement, but I want you to track your arms in your mind's eye. So just know where your body is. We'll do one arm at a time. So take one arm up and remain focused on the movement of that arm that is lifting up and lowering down. And we'll switch it out when it's time. Move your second arm. Remain focused on the movement of that arm. Where is that arm in space? And then start to move each arm one at a time, tracking those movements with your awareness. Want to link this breath with movement, you can. However you're breathing, accentuate the breath and the movement. Open your eyes slowly, letting the light back in. Bring your hands to prayer or a clasp at the center of your chest. We'll sit up tall, take a breath in, and breathe out. All right, so slide your hands over to one side, then the other, and you can follow those hands with your eyes. So we're tracking that movement. It's like a visual confirmation that our hands are doing what we're asking them to do. Taking the hands through center, the arms, the shoulders are all involved. All right, now, again, if this is okay, if this is too much with your vestibular system, then you can sit this out. But if you want to look away from your hands, you can. And then switch. So each time those hands come through center, you get confirmation that they're there, and then they go out of your vision. And then move with the pace of your breath if that breath movement is good for you. And then the next time you take your hands over to one side, we'll leave them there. Look at your fingers. Sit up tall. Make sure your feet, your bottom are solidly in your chair. Your feet are solidly on the ground. And then we'll look over the opposite shoulder. So you're looking away from your hands. I want you to look up slightly and lift the foot that you're on the side you're looking towards. So lift the foot on the side that you're looking towards. Take a few breaths in and out here. As you breathe out, lower your foot, return everything back to center, and then we'll move the hands to the second side. We'll make sure that the buttocks are in the chair, the feet are solidly grounded. We'll look at our fingers for a second, and then we'll look away from our hands. Look up slightly, and then we'll lift the foot on the side we're looking towards. As you breathe out, lower your foot, take your hands and your head back to center. Breathe in, breathe out. A similar movement to what we just did, but we're going to take one arm out to the side. So keep one hand at the center of your chest. The other arm reaches out to the side. Make sure your feet are back in the shape, your legs are strong. We'll look at our fingers. Maybe wiggle. That movement can give us a little more feedback. And then look away from that outstretched arm, so looking over your opposite shoulder. Take a breath in here and a breath out. And even though I'm looking away from that outstretched arm, I'm keeping my awareness in that arm. Maybe I feel the weight of the arm. I might feel my shirt sleeve on that arm. Little tingling sensation from the work my arm's doing. With my next out breath, take the hands to heart, and we'll do that on the second side. So we'll take that second arm out to the side, look at our fingers, wiggle, get that tactile feedback, and then look away from that outstretched arm. Take a breath in. Out, remaining aware of that outstretched arm. What's different over here? Is this arm working as hard? Maybe not working as much? Does this shirt sleeve feel different? As you breathe out, take the hands to center, look straight ahead. Shake it out. We'll do one more like that, and we'll add a lifted leg. And that'll be the end of our active practice. So take your hands back to a prayer or clasp them. Get those feet and legs back in the shape. A little support for your spine. Take a breath in and breathe out. All right. Take your hands out to the side. Your arm out to the side. And we'll look at the fingers. Wiggle the fingers again. All right. Keep your awareness in this outstretched arm as you look away from that arm over your opposite shoulder. We'll look up just a bit, and we'll lift the foot on the side we're looking towards. 2 or 3 breaths here. As you breathe out, lower your foot, take your hands back to heart, and let's do that on the other side. Reach the arm out, look at your fingers, wiggle if you like, look away from that outstretched arm, keeping your awareness there. Look up just a bit, and then we'll take the foot on the side we're looking towards and lift it up a few breaths in and out here. So your foot that's on the ground is your support system, so make sure that you're active in that leg. And as you breathe out, lower the foot, take the hands to heart, your gaze to center, and let's rock side to side. You can take your hands back down to your thighs. We might move around in a circle. Again, focusing the eyes if that is what's working for you. Switch direction with your circle. Maybe even open up the knees slightly, giving the hips a different orientation, as we sort of have them in that mountain pose variation the whole time. And we'll rock forward and back. We've got that different orientation for our legs, hinging from our hips, and you might find you have a little more space to rock forward. If you'd like to hold, we can take our forearms to our thighs, and then press down with our forearms, getting a little more length in our spine, just creating a little bit of support here. You can shake your head yes and no, and if you have high, low blood pressure, glaucoma, detached retinas, make sure that you keep your head higher than your heart, and I typically stay here. All right. Reconnect through the feet, the legs, take your hands to your thighs, and like we're doing a push-up, we'll press ourselves back up to seated. Walk the feet in, little bit of movement like we started, lifting heels and toes. You might get some pops, I am. So we're getting some fluid moving around in those joints. All right. Take your hands to heart, and this is a time that you might want to rest for a few minutes, but we'll end class here. You're welcome to turn off your device or hit pause. But thank you so much for joining me. I honor you.